game. This is the first game of today, day 1 of week 3, which is the last week of the tournament, last week of the regular games, and then we'll head into the semifinals for next week. Semifinals are pretty much all day Friday, and then we'll have the finals on Saturday, which is, I think, one or two games for the final 7 of the group. All right, looks like they're in game. I should be able to click observe match, or maybe they're just like going through that right now. Okay, I'm gonna do one thing for Cleroy as well. There we go, there we go. All right, we've got the observe match has turned on, and let's see what the players are up to. All right, so we have 2 Chinese players played by Myriad and Hutster911. We have Silverline playing as English, 2 HRE players for green and yellow. Blue as Delhi, 1 Abbasid and 1 French, played by Brian Lin. So this should be an interesting and fun matchup. We've got a 2-minute observer delay. So the players are making their way through the map right now, probably finding some area to, I guess, place a TC. Hold on. Well, while we're waiting, I'm gonna let Sora in. I'm glad I downloaded that mod ahead of time. I didn't realize it was republished. All right, let Sora in from outside, and she is covered in mulch. Lovely. We'll see. I'm actually, hedging my China players always kind of have an advantage, in my opinion, in free-for-alls, just because they have a little bit more landmarks. It's harder to landmark snipe them. So they have that protection, but I feel like when you play as China or one of the stronger, quote unquote, stronger civs for a free-for-all, you sometimes are kind of have a target on your back. So we'll see who gets taken out first. A lot of these players, I think all of these players have actually, all of these players have played previously, I'm almost sure. So we'll see. Actually, no, Matt Boss is a new player for this group. This will be their first round, I guess. All right, now we're just waiting. I'm scared. All right, here we go. And I already hear... Oh no, oh, wait. Oh, somebody was killing a wolf. Okay, I was like, wait, the treaty is still on. I feel like there should be a treaty, so let me make sure that's still active. All right. Okay, I don't know if there's a 2-minute observer delay, but it looks like I'm live, so I'm kind of confused with what's going on in the clock right there. Also, welcome new viewers for the first thing. I will check the farms price right here. It's 25. Everything seems to be in the correct place for different players. Green and red have decided to place down their TCs exactly next to each other. I don't think they see each other, so this will be interesting. Either they'll team up, be best friends, or destroy each other. So we'll see what happens in the next few minutes. On the southern, just south of both those players, we've got pink and yellow placing down their main TC. I also don't think they are in viewpoint of each other, so once their scouts get out, they'll be able to spot each other relatively quickly and hopefully at least start some sort of alliance or maybe a fight. On the south side, no one has decided to go towards the south side of the map at all. This is kind of totally open for any player. On the very western corner, we have Hutster 911 or 911 placing their main TC, playing as a purple color. And on the very northern corner, we have Benji playing in teal as the Abbasid dynasty. And just south of that, we have Teleria playing as Delhi. So Delhi and Abbasid up in that corner. This is a very, very, as Patty says, cozy corner. Unfortunately cozy for many of these players, and I'm pretty sure they've started to spot each other out at this point. It's just too hard not to spot each other out. And yeah, definitely Myriad has spotted out where Brian Lynn is located. And probably soon Matt Boss as well. Once the scouts hit the map, it's kind of like everywhere. Oh, also Blue unfortunately has a stuck in the woods villager. This happens a little bit during these nomad spawns where you have a vill stuck, and it looks like actually a very big disadvantage in some ways for Teleria, because they've got 2 villagers stuck in the woods. So I don't know how to prevent that spawn. That always happens to me too, where you have villagers stuck in the woods. So I think, and some of them have to walk quite a bit of ways as well. So we have Benji walking all the way across the map with some wood, and we'll see how that goes. In this corner, we have Silverline, which I don't think I mentioned before because they just placed it back down on the northeast corner, playing as English. English is a little bit advantageous since even though we kind of like nerfed their prices in the farms and increased the price in some of their other technologies, they still can lay down those farms really, really well. All right, 1 minute till the treaty ends, and then we'll see if there's going to be bloodshed or not. The advantage here that Green has is that they've got a prelate ready to defend or ready to heal up any units if there's some minor damage from the TC from Myriad towards Green. We'll see if that actually helps at all, but we see a barracks being placed down immediately by Green. Early barracks ready to go. I don't know if he can actually afford to build anything at this point, just because it takes such a big wood income to send out spears. So we'll see if they get to the feudal age next. I don't know if this is going to be one of those games that's super long and drawn out because everyone is so close to each other, just a battle back and forth, or super, super short. Either way, Hutster has such an advantage being alone in the corner, also playing as China. They'll be allowed to boom, allowed to build a lot of different buildings, landmarks rather quickly. And we already see the TC going off for green towards red right now. And I don't know if Myriad is just close enough to have his one teammate in shot, but it looks like they might have teamed up. So now that it's over the treaty, we'll see some teams team up. So it looks like green and red decided to team up because they are so close to each other. So they decided to be friends at this point, just because it's either you battle it out right within the first 10 minutes or become teammates. I don't know if yellow and pink are going to yellow and pink also teamed up in this matchup. So we've got two solid teams immediately set up right now. And I don't know about blue and teal if they're going to team up. Remember, players get a ×2 bonus for backstabbing and taking out their previous allied teammate. So it's helpful to have a teammate in the beginning and then plan on backstabbing them later. So we'll see how that goes for these players. Either way, I think they can both save up enough resources, or at least have a treaty for a little bit of time and allyship, just to then store up enough resources and then see if they can take out the other player. I'm not sure what their plans are. I'm not sure how backstabby everyone is, but we'll see in the next few minutes. I do hear a couple scouts yelling. And off it goes. So it looks like Brian Lynn is definitely not teamed up with green. So pink and green are not together. Scout did spot out both of these TCs, or at least probably the corner of the farm. And I think they're gonna also spot out these a couple of these gold miners right now. Both are exposed. Also purple making his way around the map. That's like all the way across the map in this situation. That scout has got to be careful. It's not looking healthy. Got to get out of range before you lose a scout. You don't want to lose a scout in the beginning of the game, especially with such a large map. A large map like this, what we've seen throughout the game, scouting is so important when you're playing a free-for-all, because you can't rely on your teammates to also scout the map with you. And we've seen players lose because they don't know where their enemy's base is. So it's really important in the beginning of the game to at least get an idea of where everyone's bases are. I also didn't notice this on the southwest side. There is a little bit of a channel right here where a scout can get through. No one luckily got trapped over here, but I really feel for blue right now. Both of his villagers are stuck getting wood, but at least Talaria is playing as Delhi, so wood can be utilized rather well. I'm going to check on the teams one more time just to see if anyone else has decided to team up, and it looks like blue and teal have not decided to team up. I'm going to head over there to their area of the map. We do have a good placement for the House of Wisdom, back tucked into the corner in between two wood lines, a little bit better protected than possibly out in the front line. With Delhi, we see Dome of Faith getting placed down. Also no surprises there. Dome of Faith is just a pretty standard choice in this type of game. And I want to see some units coming out too. No military buildings for either player right now. So either they are teamed up or they're just kind of waiting it out for each other. We do see Benji going out to get stone, probably going to go double or triple TC in one of these games. Barbican getting placed down at the forefront of Myriad's base, going to protect that gold. Also spot out any enemy coming closer. Green is also going down with 2 barracks. Pretty aggressive for not having any military out quite yet. So I doubt that they're going to go for the Burgrave Palace, but I do see oh, here we go, 5 oh wow. Okay, so really early we have spears heading into the base of Brian, and Brian is getting pushed back into his TC. One of the spears is getting taken out. 2 of the spears is getting taken out. Those are not upgraded at all. That is a light regular old spearman. So no upgrades at all, no hardened, just because actually green has decided to invest in military over going up to the next age. We just see the Aachen Chapel getting placed down now at the 10-minute mark. Most of the other players seem to have gone up around in between 4 and 6 minutes. So this is a little bit later, even though it is a free-for-all. Myriad also going up to Song Dynasty almost immediately at the 10-minute mark. We see a little bit of a scout chase up on the northern side of the map. I'm curious to see if anyone has decided to team up more further. Let's see. Nope, no other teams. So we have just, oh wait, actually, we have a 3-person team. So Silverline, so orange, green, and red decided to team up. So this is a 3-man team. There also is 3 other players that seem to be going solo at this point or neutral towards other people. So we have a 3-man team available for the different players, bringing the stone back into the main base. And we also see an archery range going down for Benji right now. I'm gonna look down here at the edge of the map. It looks like red and green are really melding into each other's bases. And also, I'm not gonna lie, Silverline is growing pretty steadily. I see a good group of longbows at the front. I wonder who's going to backstab each other first. That would be rather curious. We do see a Burgrave Palace in the corner of Matt Boss's base. So we have both of the HRE players close to each other. The difference here is that we're going to see men at arms from Matt Boss. Matt Boss has a really strong eco. If you look up at his little, I guess, square rectangle up at the top, you can see a strong economy at this point. For the Burgrave Palace, that means men at arms are going to be able to be produced relatively quickly. I'm going to look at nothing in queue though. So I'm not sure if he's just waiting for a little bit, but we're going to see a little bit of spear on spear action from Brian Lynn at this point. It does seem like he is trying to queue up several archers to defend in that area, but I hear this going off as well. So it seems like the longbows have spotted out one of the scouts from Brian. And we see a King's Palace being dropped as well. We're at the 12-minute mark. This is actually a faster-ish castle for English. So 2 fast castles going on. We see everyone else kind of hanging out in feudal age. I would expect, let's see. I would expect Matt probably to go up Imperial first before any other player, since his eco is really, really strong. And it seems like he's foregoing sending out men at arms right now and is probably just saving up for that next age. Ooh, I like this. Hutzer is taking over this top corner, already securing the gold, and I think this is just super preemptive on maps like this where you can't scout technically everything or see where all the gold is. It's good to secure one of those big 8,000 gold veins early in the beginning. Also, chat, thank you so much for all the support. You guys are the best. It's pretty quiet up on this eastern corner. I expected a lot of action from this area, but I don't see much. I do see a little military in the corner from Benji right now. So Benji seems to be gearing up probably to go in on Teleria, maybe get the first blood. We'll see what happens in this instance. I really think that Teleria has got to build a lot bigger military than these 5 spearmen to be secure, since this is 7 archers right now, and we also see a wall getting placed down by Benji. That spear guy is gonna run right into the shot of those archers. Oh, I see. Actually, it wasn't Benji walling up, it's Teleria. They're both blue, and I'm not colorblind. I don't know why I thought that. So yeah, that wall is going to be completely denied. So unfortunately, Teleria is going to be really, really exposed. Needs to get a lot of horsemen out at this point. On this eastern front, I do see more units out coming towards the south where Brian Lynn is located. Myriad as Myriad is up to Song Dynasty and just sending out the Zuganu like crazy. So Spear, pretty good combo, and also playing super early aggressive feudal Song Dynasty. This is always dangerous with China, but as French, you should have, you know, more of the tankier units with the French. But when you're playing with somebody else who can build spears, it's hard to defend against something like this. So I'm hoping if Pink is teamed up with Yellow, so Map Boss seems to be queuing up a pretty big military mass, and probably will come to the defense of their teammate at this point, because if Pink goes down, Yellow's probably going to shortly follow, since we've got a double group at this moment. Hutster has made a really giant wall, Great Wall of China, all the way, taking up about a quarter of the map, really just booming up there, and he's lucky. He's got a really secure location. But remember, you kind of have to be aggressive with these free-for-all games, unless you decide to win with a wonder, which is great. Oh, and we have a backstab coming in from Map Boss towards Brian Lin. So Brian Lin has been completely exposed, was teamed up with Yellow earlier up in the beginning of the game, and it seems like Map Boss has turned against his teammate and is deciding to take him out. So there are 3 players right now attacking Brian Lin, and unfortunately he is all alone in this instance. He's bringing his villagers back over to Map Boss, trying to do a little bit of counter burning of the Aachen Chapel, and Brian Lin has gone down at the hands of 3 players. That's Myriad, Map Boss, and Green. I can't say his name because apparently it's not. It's some slang. So Green, Yellow, and Red. Let me check if that was one of the secret targets. Either way, each player will get about 1.33 points, but Map Boss will be getting times 2.66 points in that. Yep. So no one will be getting the double points in this situation. So both of them are exposed. We also see Silverline making their way over a little bit too late to do any damage, but it looks like all 3 of the teams are going to be going in on Map Boss. So Map Boss has a really strong group of men-at-arms right at the front line of his base. We'll see if he'll be able to defend those. Yeah, these are not crossbowmen. These are Zuganu. They're really only good against light armored units. They're kind of like archers, but they just shoot a lot faster. It's a really fun, unique unit from the Chinese, but they're not gonna be that great at taking out these men-at-arms, which are really tanky, heavily armored. It just takes probably a lot bigger group of that for them to do significant damage. Like, if you can see, they can just run through this. They survived pretty much all of this, took out the entire military of Green, and are pushing back Red right now. That's the beauty of having early men-at-arms. I hear a Wololo going off, but not going to be successful. Silverline tried to get that in late, and we see some horsemen making their way across the map. While horsemen are great and fast, they're just not going to be able to hang on to these men-at-arms. Men-at-arms are going to be doing a little bit of tag at the end of the game. I hope that it looks like one of the units, somebody is burning this down at this point. Unfortunately, these dead villagers are going to be taking out the Aachen Chapel. That's just like something that happens. The villagers will just continue burning until it gets taken out. So Map Boss is going to have to build that back up. And we see a push in from Map Boss moving in towards that main trebuchet up on the hill. Going to be probably burning that relatively quickly. It's stuck up there. So that was a big wood investment for Myriad going down, and Myriad is also up to, so it looks like all players are also up to Castle Age. So we should see some siege making their way out across the map, and true crossbowmen have started to be spawned by Myriad. So Map Boss does need to worry about this. Probably counter those with some archers, archers and some more ranged units at the back line to help with that. I do hear the sound go off for Matt Boss, who can go up to Imperial, so we'll see what they decide if he's going to go up with Palace of Swabia or just decide to wait to go up to Imperial, invest more into military. So it looks like a little bit of villager sniping on this side. We see Silverline kind of building up more masses at the front edge of Green's base. I don't know if they're enemies or if there's going to be more backstabbing going on. Looking back up at the northern corner, we see Benji going in on Teleria. So Teleria is trying to defend as best as he can. Like I said earlier in the game, there just wasn't a big enough military for Teleria at that point. So I don't think he's just responding right now with multiple stables. He only had one before, and I don't think that was enough, especially for such the diverse army that Benji has. You're going to need also a diverse army to counter that, and at least a pretty big group of horsemen to travel around and take out several of these mangonels, because those mangonels are so strong in the early game, especially when you just aged up to castle. You're still waiting for your upgrades to come in, especially as Delhi, when you have to wait time and a half just for some of your upgrades. So this is really good timing for Benji, and looks like Benji is probably going to be successful in this push. What I would like at this point, yeah, Teleria is just hanging on. They do have a double TC, so this TC can continue making archer or making townspeople. Why do I want to call them townspeople? Because town center, they're villagers, but I always want to call them townspeople. Townspeople finally have their torches out, going to be trying to take out a couple of these rams. Unfortunately, they're going right into the edge of the battle, and the spears are just going to be poking them. I'm pretty sure for these veteran spearmen, especially they're veteran spearmen, they've have the several upgrades, so their range is a little bit longer than other spearmen, since Benji is playing as the Abbasid. And Abbasid spears are probably the best version of spears that you can get, so that's very successful for them. We do see a pretty large group of military up on the edge for the area of Matt Boss. Unfortunately, Matt Boss did go up, is pretty low on military at this point. I'm gonna see where he stands. Yeah, so his military is down to 20. His eco is at 59, and it seems like he moved most of his base down to the south corner of the map, which is relatively open. Palace of Swabia down here, really strong placement. It's going to take a while for the other team to make their way down here. So it seems like they're hovering up here, but there's not going to be much success. Going back up to the northern side of the map, Benji continues to push on Blue's base. It's not looking pretty. There are some lancers out. There are a couple horsemen that are trying to make their way over to a couple. They needed to just go for the mangonels, which are really exposed. These crossbowmen, though, are just too strong for 4 horsemen. It's not enough. So I think he's got to store up just a little bit more than that if he wants to do damage. This is the main TC right here. This is going to be the last landmark for Teleria to go down. So I think that's going to be the end of his game for him. We also see Hutzer seems to be getting walling up even further. So this is the Great Wall of China, spans across a quarter of the map, and it looks like yeah, they're just chilling. Also decided to secure this sacred site, which Silverline did capture. So I wonder if Hutzer is going to go for the sacred sites, which are actually all in his corner. Interesting spawn for him. Green and red are pushing in towards yellow right now. Burgrave Palace completely exposed. Unfortunately for them, they've got to go all the way down to the south side of the map to actually spot out the Palace of Swabia. So it looks like Map Boss is walling up, going to try to hunker down here in the lower corner, keep up the military and eco as best as he can. And it looks like we heard the sound go off. No surprises. Benji decided to take out Teleria, and we'll be getting a full 4 points for that. Full 4 points. So let me look. That was not Benji's secret target, but we'll still get that extra 4 points. Benji's military starts to make its way down towards the south side of the map. I'm gonna look at what Benji has seen. So Benji is one of those players who has not actually exposed very much of the map. So he is gonna have to get a couple scouts out there just to see what's going on. And I don't know, probably since he is so up in the northern corner, I don't know if anybody else has spotted him out either. And it looks like there are more red and green Christmas colors marching their way through the main base of Map Boss. And this is just such a cheeky move. Myriad decides to build farms there. That's going to be able to prevent a granary, going to be able to show vision here and prevent any rebuilding of this main TC. I hear them shouting, so they're making their way down across the map. I'm not sure if they've spotted out his location yet. Gonna head over to see what Myriad sees. Selected player, and so Myriad also has not exposed a lot of the map. Yeah, both of them are kind of searching for where he decided to go. So there needs to be a little bit more scouting going on, but it looks like Myriad has decided to go a different way, just aimlessly running around, unfortunately. And I think Benji might actually run into the wall from Hutster. Hutster has boomed up entirely on the top corner. Let's look at the resources for every single player. So it seems like Hutster is leading with a pretty strong, relatively close amount of resources. Silverline following not far behind, and Myriad also living up there in a good place with resources. So the wall has been spotted by Benji. Benji does not know actually where he's going because he's really just breaking down a wall and leaving his whole oh my gosh. No, he didn't build this stone wall. He left his entire base open for Hutster to make his way into the base. That's 63 horsemen right now, looking for a landmark snipe for Benji. Hutster is, wow. They weren't teamed up, but it doesn't even matter at this point. That is so bad. Also, Cranky, thank you so much for the hydrate. The entire military is making their way back across the map really slowly. I don't think they're going to be able to make it. Actually, they could possibly make it just because the House of Winsome is so tanky, but I don't think so. Are these Fire Lancers? These are Fire Lancers. These aren't even horsemen. They are elite Fire Lancers. Elite Fire Lancers doing what they do best. Benji has been conquered by Hutster, who has the entire quarter of the map. Unfortunately for Benji, Benji's going to be taken out in this round. Hutster, that is not Hutster's secret target, but they will be getting 4 points alone. Going back to the other last, let's see, there's 5 more players out on the map. I do really think that there might be a little bit of backstabbing either between orange and green or red and green. I want to see some action up here. They're still running across the map looking for Map Boss. Map Boss has made a pretty stellar recovery back to a population of 137, which is enough to counter what green has, and Myriad's still leading a little bit in the military department, but I will say Map Boss has a really strong eco and is starting to build up the military as well. So I think all of the players have kind of spotted out where that wall is. I'm gonna look at what they see here on the map. I'm assuming that Silverline did spot that out. He does have several horses over there. Let me check. Oh, maybe not. Maybe they haven't seen it yet. I don't see any of the map actually turned out. So working their way back towards this area of the map. Did Silverline decide to backstab? No, wait. Yes, Silverline did decide to backstab, which is what I was waiting for right now. So it seems that he's got a huge group of 8 trebuchets taking out the Burgrave Palace of Green. So that's what I was wondering. There's a pretty big military there. Rebaldequin on the way to the main area where to at least fend off anybody else, and it looks like he has not I'm not sure if Green has turned his diplomacy back yet. because there's not like an auto attack happening in any area. Let me click off of this so that you guys can see really what's happening. Let's enter cinematic mode as we watch Orange work his way over to the main TC. So Green has finally turned around, headed back, and is trying to defend for his life. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's too late or not. These Trebs got to get it set up. They're going to be able to one-hit several of these buildings. So Burgrave Palace has been defeated. Main TC is left. Chapel is left right now. And what else are we missing? What else are we missing right now? Oh, it looks like Myriad has also decided to turn his back on Green. Yes, so Green has been attacked by both teammates at this point. Yeah, both teammates have turned their back on each other. So it's just Myriad and Silverline teamed up. So there's a double backstab for both players going in on Green. Green's whole military was wiped out. I don't know where. Let's see. Burgrave Palace. Wow, Hutzer also coming to help a little bit. I don't know where his other landmark is. It's actually, oh no, he's been conquered. I don't know. Actually, it doesn't look like Hutzer made it over in time to share those points. But either way, Silverline and Myriad will be getting double points for that backstab. Hutzer's military, unfortunately, is very weak comparatively to all these crossbowmen. So we'll see if that goes out. Hutzer still has majority of the map, is looking really good with his eco, so not getting involved in this is fine. Most of Myriad's army has survived through this, and they've chased off the Fire Lancers. Fire Lancers actually are going over for some houses where they're still alive. So I think Hutzer has quite a bit of the map visualized for him, so he can run across all the way. I do see one of Silverline's prelates kind of stuck there. That's it. Otherwise, we are down to 4 players. We're 30 minutes in the game and we've got 4 players left. So we'll see if there's any backstabbing happening from these 2 players. So I really think what happened is Myriad and Silverline should get 4 points each, but we'll see what that looks like in the replay booth later on tonight, because I don't think Hutzer really got any hits on it, but I don't know actually where that last landmark was. Let's see. Oh, this was Palace of Swabi was up front. So yeah, I don't think he'll be getting any points from that because he ran in so last minute. I'm going to look over here and see if he's building out any other units. Seems like he's building up quite a bit of stables. So we'll see where he runs in next. He does know where the base of Silverline and Myriad are and what type of units he needs to counter that. I'm hoping that Myriad or Silverline either stay teamed up or backstab each other. You know, I like a good backstab. I want the players to get double the points, but I'm sure they're just recovering with their military right now. Silverline sending out a whole group of villagers. Looks like he's starting to get low on gold in that department. So I just want to look at the ecos up top. So pretty comparative ecos between both players. Myriad definitely does have the advantage right now with oh wow, Map Boss actually making his way out across the map. That's why they're all running around. So Map Boss was hiding out in the corner, has recovered, is at full population, has a lot of keeps up in his new proxy base. Proxy base is not really proxy base, pretty far back, and men at arms running and making their way through the base of Silverline. Just a whole lot of chasing. Like, these guys are elite men at arms are upgraded. They're gonna run a little bit faster than elite palace guards. So I want to see. Yeah. Oh, then there's some hand cannoneers too. Yeah, they're just gonna run a lot faster than these elite palace guards. Gonna be taking out the cathedral. So these guys are actually pretty good at sieging down. Gonna be taking out also the Rebaldaquin. Those Rebaldaquins are great against these men-at-arms. Did you see them just melt with several of those shots? So that's what you really need, is these Rebaldaquins. I feel like sometimes get slept on, but man, they are so good at taking out men-at-arms. Look at that. Look, Map Boss literally has like, it looks like he has like 15 left, and they're going to be taken out by these palace guards. And there's a couple more shots from the hand cannoneers. Unfortunately, Silverline, unfortunately for who am I saying? For Map Boss, Silverline is going to be able to defend that, and it is still officially teamed up with Myriad. So we have a really good team balance in this situation. So Map Boss really lost a big investment for him. I think it might have been better to like head back to his main TC and possibly take out all these villagers from Myriad, just weaken him a little bit. And we do see another group of elite fire lancers trying to make their way into Silverline's base. Unfortunately, they're going to be met with Myriad's army and not going to be able to push through. I'm expecting several of these bombards to get taken out as well. We do see a group more elite fire lancers making their way over to the side of red and orange, but they're really weak units. They've got 180 health. If we look at their tile range, they're still fast and everything like that, plus 20 siege. But for a unit like that, like if you look at here, like the palace guards have health of 210, so it's just like double that, and just more armor, a lot stronger, whereas these elite fire lancers are really just made for sieging, so not as much armor. This keep is probably going to get placed down. Really good idea for Hutzer if he decides to send out more of those fire lancers, but I would expect these Trebs are going to take that down in just a couple seconds. Bombards also going to be sieged down by several of the palace guards. Elite fire lancers doing their best to at least defend it to their best of their abilities, but I don't think that's going to happen. He's got to cancel this cannon emplacement, otherwise that's just a whole lot of lost stone. Yep, lost stone. And it looks like Map Boss has rebuilt his military up to pop cap right now. He has to kill off. He's got to kill off some of his villagers at this point. It's just like 144 villagers is a little bit overkill. And he's losing out on, you know, like 40 military, which is what Myriad has. Myriad is at a military of 90. So that's just having 40 like higher military units, especially when they're crossbowmen. It's just going to be hard. Hutzer continues to send in units, but they're just getting taken out as they come in. So he's got to change his point. Otherwise, he's just like losing units for free. That's super free. Yep, this free-for-all seems to be a 2 versus 1 versus 1. I want to see what Matt's next move is, and I see his yellow units moving across the map. Mostly villagers securing up the gold. And he is lower on gold than maybe some of the other players. I don't see any trade established from anyone yet. Really, the markets are located up here, one of the markets, and on this side of the map. So more on Hutzer's side of the map. I'm also surprised that he hasn't secured all of the sacred sides yet, since they are walled off. That might just be a good little advantage for him, or possibly pull the armies apart for more of landmark sniping. So we'll see how that goes. Dabston, hello. Highlights will be actually at the midpoint of the game, so we're deciding to do it in the intermission, so you still might be able to see the highlights, and that'll be on YouTube too. All right, Map Boss making another push in towards Red's base. It's hard to run across a huge mass of crossbowmen. They are the most brave men-at-arms I ever did see, just running straight across there. They are going to run into a wall. Knights up on the northern area trying to take out this outpost. It looks like, though, the healthy eco of Myriad is going to be hard for Map Boss to stand up against. And like I said before, he's only got you know, like 50 slots for a military right now. Most of his population count is in economy. So if he can take out some of those villagers, afford to lose some of them, which I think he can, because he does have a lot of eco backing this. So we see there 78 villagers on gold. So I don't know if he's going to try to mine the gold first and then get that out of the way, but also we see a very big villager pool. He can afford to lose all these villagers right now. Going in towards the Trebuchet is gonna make it. Ribaldequin's though taking out half of those villagers. I don't think that they're gonna survive very quickly, because these guys, yeah, these are just shooting off like a lot of bullets towards unarmored units. And yeah, it took 3 shots completely to lose all of that eco. So if we look at Map Boss, it looks like he lost 40 villagers at this point, 40 villagers, which he could afford to do. That was just a nice pull. I don't even think one Treb went down. This Treb has barely any health, but it's still alive. Myriad and Silverline are still teamed up too, so we'll see how far that they get. Map Boss is still trying to run in. Map Boss has a grouping. Let me look at where Map Boss is at right now. Map Boss has a group of 31 horsemen. So I think he's just sending those in though to take out some of the siege. There is so much siege though between Myriad and Silverline. It's almost impossible to even get a touch on some of them. So he's trying to get the bombard, but like, there's just too many. There's a combo of ranged and armored units, and when you go in with just like some weaker horsemen, it's hard to defend against. We do see up on the northern side Hutzer doing a second push, this time with stronger units, a whole bunch of Nest of Bees. Let's see, Nest of Bees, Lancers, a few elite fire lancers, bombards, hand cannoneers, and crossbowmen. So rather diverse army instead of just the other group that he had last time, which was elite fire lancers. So he's going to try to make a push once again on Silverline. Silverline has walled up his Wingard Palace to protect that, but I think it might be the first landmark that's taken out for him. We do see a couple hand cannoneers getting some shots off at Map Boss. Map Boss is sending out another army. He is up to 55. Military is going to need a lot more to be able to defend against this. I just want to say there's 33 elite crossbowmen in this group. And if he's not careful, those men-at-arms are going to get taken out. I'd like to see a little bit more horsemen out on the map, maybe some mangonels right here at the front line to do some defending or some siege, because siege is really needed to take out some of the siege from this point. I'm going to look up here north. It looks like Silverline made his way back in time to pull back Hutzer, so Hutzer's not really able to take out any of the units that he wanted to, or any of the landmarks that he wanted to, but it looks like the trebuchets from Silverline are going to be taken out by the Nest of Bees and these 3 bombards, just a lot stronger, and he's going to be able to push back and replenish his army. So we see the elite fire lancers now making their way across the map now that things have kind of opened up, and Hutzer has a military to defend them. Regular old lancers making their way across the map. I don't know. I think they're just kind of like scouting out too. I want to see what Hutzer sees and how much he sees. So yeah, it looks like he's trying to find all the landmarks for Silverline right now instead of being able to see anything else. I do hear the defense sound going off. I want to see if they are teamed up. I think Hutzer and Map Boss are actually teamed up. They actually might be teamed up right now. It's actually just a wood line, guys. The wood line has become a huge party. So that's what the wood line is going up back there. That's why you see that long orange mass. I think it would be ideal to put trade back there though. That's a great placement for trade since the market is right there. He could do some trading, but I don't think that's on his mind right now, as he's got a bunch of fire lancers in his base making their rounds, taking out any of the hand cannoneers that are coming out quickly, and he's going to be trying to burn down several of the military production buildings and head for that King's Palace. A lot of the villagers were taken out for Silverline. If we're looking at Silverline, he's down to a vill count of 65, military of 11. So this is the opening for Hutster. He's taking out the Wingard Palace, gonna go for the King's Palace and the Council Hall, looking for the main TC. It's over here in the corner, and I think several of the villagers have been pulled to try to defend, or I don't know what they're doing. They're trying to rebuild it quickly. So I would actually don't think this is gonna get up before that goes down. It would have been better for him to continue building the one that's already built, because if that's not built, he's gonna be taken out. And Silverline has been conquered by Hutster, so Hutster will be taking home another 4 points, and we're up to 8 points right now. And it is confirmed, I do see here the defense going off for Map Boss, so Hutster and Map Boss seem to be teamed up. Culverin's out front, and also this is great, a little wall area, totally stuck in this corner. Oh, that keep was such a good placement too. It's gonna be taken out by several of these trebuchets. I'm gonna see Hutster making their way into the main base of Myriad. Myriad's military is all the way down at the front lines with Map Boss, so he's gonna have to turn around and make his way back to the front if he wants to defend at all. Even though he's playing China and his base is relatively spread out, it's going to be easy to spot out once these guys make their way all the way across the map. So we hear the nest of bees going off. Several of the elite palace guards, I don't know what they're doing. Oh, they kind of got distracted by some of these dead farms. Going to be taken out as well. And all of these guys are super exposed. And if we're looking at Myriad's vill count is slowly starting to dip. He is bringing back some of his military and producing more military. Bombard out on the way. Hopefully that doesn't get any shots off. Otherwise those nest of bees are going to get taken out as well. We have China versus China. I don't know if Hutster going to be able to pull this off. He's got to send reinforcements now. The reinforcements seem to be spawning at the front of Silverline's base, which isn't necessarily the best location. So he's not able to spawn military fast enough, and most of that's going to be cleaned up by Myriad at this point. So Matt is pushing Matt can't really push out yet from his base. He doesn't have enough of that military, so we'll see if he makes his way up there to do some damage as well. So that would be the way to take out Myriad. Myriad seems really strong, and has got like this front area of his base, and the rest of his base is really well defended. I don't even think, I'm gonna look at this landmark tracker. Yeah, Myriad still has 5 landmarks. He's not worried. I don't think he's worried, at least. And I see the trail of yellow from Map Boss making his way out across the map. Most of the military now has decided to come out and take on this battle against the men-at-arms. Still only men-at-arms really coming out from, and some Lanchknechts. Mostly men-at-arms though. Also, wait, the Lanchknechts are like, got huge feathers. I didn't realize they had such huge feathers on their head. These Lanchknechts are a little bit weaker in terms of HP, so than the elite men-at-arms, but the counter that Myriad has in army is just so strong against these armored units that every time Map Boss, no matter how big the forces he sends out, a lot of them are going to be cleaned up in this ratio. So yeah, he did get a lot of the army from, I'm gonna say, actually Myriad did lose a lot of army, but I think the investment, the trade is just not as good because Myriad has a strong eco right now too. We see Hutster on the way. We see elite palace guards out in the map. I want to see some how do you say it, guys? You guys always get mad at me for pronouncing this wrong. Grenadier on the ways. So I would like to see some of them. Men-at-arms going to be cleaning up this forward keep from Myriad. So pushing in from the south side, Huts are going to be pushing in from the north side, going in on that Barbican of the Sun. Barbican of the Sun doesn't have any of the emplacements that is now allowed comparatively to last time, but that keep does have the emplacements. So that'll be taking out some of the elite palace guards in this corner. So Hutzer's got to send in a bigger group to be able to stand up against Myriad. And Map Boss is coming up from the south side. So I actually think this push is going to be successful. Now that we know Hutzer and Map Boss are teamed up, we'll see if they can hold, if they decide to backstab each other, if they decide to push forward, and if Myriad can hold against this. Myriad is definitely looking pretty low on the military count and the gold right here. So we've got the Barbican of the Sun down. We got a Spirit Way here in the corner that is also exposed, and the main TC needs to get taken out before he is out of this game. So we'll see how long he lasts. He's got 3 more actually. So third one I think just was burned down, Imperial Palace, from Map Boss. So a couple of the villagers pulled, gonna be taking out the culverins and possibly this bombard if he's not careful. He's got to take the guys out. He's got to take the villagers out. Otherwise, most of the siege is going to be taken down, and he needs that siege to get through. I do hear cannon emplacement was made from Hutzer, so I'm going to check in on Myriad. So we also see Astronomical Clock Tower in the corner. So Spirit Way, Clock Tower, and main TC still need to be taken out. Most of Hutzer has stopped sending in units. So I don't know what he's decided to do, if he's going to let Map Boss take the cake on this or take the rest of the time. Most of the military is heading up over here to defend from the flood of Hutzer. Hutzer building up the next military here in this weird little wall corner. So I'm not sure what he plans on doing with that. We'll see how that goes. Man, and it looks like Map Boss has made his way into that base. We'll see how far it goes. Wonder timer is on. Yeah, was there yep, there it is, okay, so we've got the wonder up. I'll go to the wonder timer. We're at 9:25 for the wonder from Hutzer, so strong base for him. That's why he decided to pull out from Myriad's base. We'll see if Map Boss can get these extra points and take out Myriad. Either way, he's definitely not going to be able to get through all the way to the back corner where that is. And I want to once again hone in on this lack of scouting from probably these players. So yeah, Myriad does not know where anything is. Map Boss knows where quite a bit of the map is, but not necessarily anywhere but where the wonder is located. So he's probably spotted out several of the walls, but Hutzer has put up quite a network of walls since people have scouted the whole map. So it's hard to focus on scouting though when you're like in the middle of a battle. Wow. Just choked myself on water, guys. I'm not sure if Map Boss seems to be making weaker units at this point and is probably scouting out the base of Myriad because Myriad has a couple more units. Yeah, and he's making his way over to the Spirit Way. So he has spotted out all of those, but like every time he sends unit in, they're just getting wiped out by these hand cannoneers and all that other stuff. So even though he's going in and able to get a couple hits on these landmarks, it's not strong enough because the villagers that Myriad does have, even though he's down to 55, he has enough wood to rebuild pretty much any of the landmarks that get taken out. So Map Boss has to be fast. With these free falls, you got to take them out as fast as possible and with a huge group of horsemen, which he seems to be grouped up right now. We also see 6 of the trebs, which I didn't notice before, in the doorway. So I think he'll be able to take it out before the wonder timer goes out. If Myriad plays it safe, he might be able to defend. I'm not sure right now. These horsemen seem to be doing a really good job of at least walling it off. They do have to take out these hand cannoneers and be careful not to lose their trebuchets because those trebuchets are going to be what wins the game. Yeah, Matt Boss has a pretty big group of military right now, and Myriad is struggling to keep up. Even though the units are really strong against the units that Matt Boss is sending, I want to see Matt Boss actually get up a couple of these trebuchets. These trebuchets are going to be going down really quickly. Unfortunately, his units are just not strong enough to defend against these elite palace guards and hand cannoneers. He needs some crossbowmen in the mix, some further ranged units. He doesn't have any ranged units, so that's kind of what's killing him right now, because he can't get any strong shots off on these hand cannoneers, and these hand cannoneers are wiping out anything that comes through the walls. Both players are kind of keeping each other distracted, and Hutzer is just like, hey, I built a wonder, I'm ready for you, I'm waiting for you. Wonder is just sitting up on the hill. I think both players are just trying to at least gather up as much points as possible. Spirit Way is still getting hit, a couple hits on from an elite horseman, but I don't know if Matt Boss is going to be able to push through at this point. He's going to try to open up the wall a little bit more, try to avoid that choke point. Yep, and those cannoneers, those hand cannoneers are really strong, holding their place, and Bombard's gonna get taken out. Both Bombards are gonna get taken out. Matt Boss is just not making units that can hold off Myriad. Myriad is back from the dead, it seems. Doesn't have the best economy right now, but is keeping his small military alive. I'm not sure if he's gonna be able to push back and take out Matt Boss, but at least he's holding his base as best as he can. What they need to do is team up and go in to try to get this wonder, but Hutzer has such a strong economy, doesn't have a lot of wood right now. Doesn't matter. Gave that up. Has a huge army though. Has a huge army that's just kind of waiting for the next group of military, and so Myriad and Matt Boss seem to be pushing back against each other at this point. We've got less than 5 minutes on the Wonder Tracker right now. It looks like the game is going to end at just under an hour. Not too much action from Hutzer. Hutzer's playing it safe, keeping out in the corner. He is going to get more points from that win. He's got a point for building the Wonder and an extra 4 points for that win with 2 players active. So he'll get a total of 5 points. If he did take out both the teams right now, if he did try to make a push towards, let's say he went and took out Matt Boss, who was his teammate. I don't know if they're still teamed up right now. I think they are still teamed up. He would be getting extra points. So I think he might wait till he's got a minute left or something and push in for that backstab. And here we go, the stronger units pushing in towards the proxy base of Matt Boss. Matt Boss has a lot of horsemen, seems to be skirting around this military, which he did drag out, and hopefully he'll be able to get in for his kill. But I don't know if that's going to happen, because Myriad is pushing with more hand cannoneers back through the front part of his base. So he's keeping guard. Palace Guard's doing what they do best, guarding. And it looks like he's going to be trying to rebuild this wall as well. I hope Matt Boss spots out that Bombard is completely missing the Bombard right now. That Bombard literally just was like, no, I'm invisible. Didn't say a word and made it through. So these horsemen are going to be pulling in the sneak attack way, going around that wall, avoiding any of the military coming out the front, and are completely in the base of Myriad. So that was really lucky for them. They were able to avoid any conflicts at that area. So we'll see if he gets that down. Most of the landmarks have been taken out, so there's only 3 more left. Astronomical Clock Tower is going to be taken out by Matt Boss at this point. Myriad is trying to push down towards Matt Boss's base, but I don't think it's going to be in time. This is a really good pathway for them. They're avoiding the keep, they're avoiding any of the military that's getting spawned, and it looks like that Astronomical Clock Tower is taken out. Myriad is down to 2 other landmarks at this moment. Hutzer also pushing in, gonna do a little bit of defense for his teammate Matt Boss. I feel like he has to backstab now if he's gonna backstab. Spirit Way also getting taken out by Map Boss, and Map Boss is going to be pushing his way over towards the main TC, which is the last landmark for Myriad. Oh, wait. He turned around. It looks like he's going to turn around and go back to his base. Wait, why? Why? Okay, there he goes. Oh, I don't know if he saw it before. Oh, I don't think he saw it. Okay, so he's going back, turning around, gonna be able to take out that main TC. I was very confused for a second. I don't think he was able to spot it out. So he'll be taking him out. So it looks like Mad Boss was able to take out Myriad almost completely on his own. I'm not sure. I think that's what happened, yeah. We'll have to look at the replay, but builders trying to come around a little bit. Villagers trying to do their best to keep that TC up and alive. Myriad doing one last push, gonna be taking out the Palace of Swabian. Oh my gosh, Mad Boss was barely conquered by Myriad. That was so last minute. Literally 11 Palace Guards did that. 11 Palace Guards. It was a matter of pulling your vills and trying to repair the Palace of Swabia. It's just like the China vills are just so OP, and we're able to survive through that. Wow, they did take each other out though. Wait, no. I don't know really what happened in that corner. Just the dead players decided to take each other out. Wow. I think really the win goes to Hutzer though, going with that Wonder win at that point.